Hello, my true crime lovelies. How are you? Oh my goodness. You clicked on the title. You know what it's about. We are going to talk about updates in the Sarah Boone family court case. Let's get into it. All right, so there are two parts to this. There's one update. I will go with that first because I don't want to bury the lead. But if some of you guys don't know what's going on in the family court, I'll give a little more detail after I give the update. So if you haven't heard that, stick around. And if you're just here for what has changed, stay tuned. So, yes, there is a change in the family court in that Sarah's got a new judge. Let's take a look at the new judge. Yes, perfect. Right at the top, her judge, if you remember, if you don't, it's your first time, it's all good. She had Michael Dean. She wrote Michael Dean several letters. I made 3 videos about it. I'll do a quick recap of some of those letters at the end here, just so you can get the gist of what is at stake. But her new judge, the name is LaShonda K. Jackson. So I was especially curious for those of you who have been following me and you listened to my reading of her IMS report. You know, she has a thing against hair braiders. And it turns out that Miss LaShonda K. Jackson is a client of hair braiders. Let's take a look. Here she is, LaShonda K. Jackson. This is her platform for when she was running. She's a trial lawyer with 21 plus years of experience litigating cases throughout Florida. Throughout her career, she has shown a strong work ethic, effective time management skills, and the ability to handle large caseloads. She is now ready to put her knowledge and experience to work for the citizens of Orange and Osceola counties as a circuit court judge. So congratulations, Judge Jackson. And buckle up, Buttercup, because Miss Boone is a lot. A lot. Okay, so let's just take a look at some of her background because it's pretty intense. A lot of trauma. LaShonda K. Jackson was born in Titusville, Florida. She was the 4th child to a 19-year-old mother. LaShonda's father was murdered when she was just 3 years old. Her older brothers eventually ended up in the foster care system. LaShonda was raised in the projects of East Mims by her father's sister, so her aunt, whom she has always considered mom. LaShonda's aunt was given a temporary guardianship. So I'm not sure what happened to her mom. Dad was murdered. So the courts gave her aunt temporary guardianship, but due to a lack of access to lawyers or the legal system, LaShonda remained a ward of the state until she was 18 and without any formal adoption. She never let her circumstances deter her or her friends of becoming a lawyer. She attended Astronaut High School. Oh, I love that name. Lettered in 3 sports and was recently inducted into the school's 2024 War Eagles Athletic Hall of Fame. LaShonda also attended the University of Florida on academic scholarships. Go ahead, so we know she's tenacious. And competed as a hammer thrower and shot putter on the Lady Gator track and field team, where she won 3 SEC time titles. I don't know what it means. In my world, SEC is a Security and Exchange Commission. I don't think that they have team titles, though. Through her time as a student athlete, LaShonda learned the value of hard work, discipline, time management, as well as giving back. In addition to various voluntary bar association leadership roles with various organizations like the Orange County Bar Association and the OCBA Young Lawyer Section, the Paul Perkins Bar Association. Wow. She was also at some point listed as 30 under 30, I think, by the bar. She is proud to say that on July 25th, 2019, after over 40 years, she was formally adopted by her mom at a ceremony at the Orange County Courthouse. Now she seeks to serve in that very same courthouse. That is beautiful. So am I the only cynic who is like, well, if she was a ward of the state, at least that she was probably eligible for assistance, right? Versus adoption. I'm not sure. I know some states still give a subsidy after you adopt and some don't. But anyway, that's where my mind goes. So, yeah, here are her career achievements. She was as part of the bar, Young Florida's Division Board of Governors Code and Rules of Evidence Committee, Ninth Circuit Grievance Committee. Oh, so she may have heard from Sarah. I don't know. I don't know what that means. Okay, they're in the Ninth Circuit there. So, yeah, that is who she is and what's going on. So, we will see. Sarah, you have a new judge for your family court case. Meet LaShonda. So I think if I were Sarah, which I wouldn't be, I would not focus on the alimony part. Oh, I need to tell you guys who haven't been here. So Sarah had filed something requesting alimony once she got arrested. So she got arrested 2/25/2020, and Brian stopped paying alimony. There were things going on in the court. He lost his job, and so he couldn't pay her the $1,000, and she was kind of ratcheting it up and up and up. So he got a new lawyer. He had previously had a female lawyer doing. I cannot talk this morning. Let me take a sip. Oh. He previously had a female attorney, and now he has a male attorney. And what they did is they filed a motion to modify or eliminate alimony and child support. I feel like child support was a no-brainer, but because he's dealing with Sarah, he had to specify. I'm just going to read the final judgment for it because we don't need to. It's in the other videos, the long form videos. I believe it's either in 2 or 3 of the series. I'm just going to read so you know what the outcome was after his petitioning. So the modification of the final judgment, this was 4/12/2022. Former husband Brian C. Boone, individually and by and through his undersigned attorney, hereby files this petition for modification of final judgment of dissolution of marriage dated June 15th, 2018. Action for modification. This is an action for modification of the final judgment. This court has jurisdiction. It's the right venue. Substantial change in circumstances. So since the entry of the final judgment, there's been material and substantial changes in circumstances. That is the understatement, because not only does he not have a job, his wife has murdered someone and has been in jail since. So I would say, yeah, that's substantial. And he don't want to send her $1,000 a month. I don't blame him. So former wife was arrested, charged with second-degree murder after she locked him in a suitcase. They have one minor child. Minor child has lived exclusively with the former husband since the former wife's incarceration and lived the vast majority of the time. Maybe that's why she says former in all those letters, because it's the legal language used in the court. Anyway, inasmuch as the former wife is in jail, she does not have the financial need for alimony or child support payments at this time. Nor should she be fixing her mouth to have child support when she's not able to access the child. Like, ma'am, why would you be getting child support in jail? They're allowing 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14-year-olds in jail. Modification of shared parenting due to former wife's lack of proper judgment. The digs. It's the digs for me, as described above, and because of her behaviors in front of the minor child prior to her incarceration, it is in the minor child's best interest for the former husband to be awarded. And unfortunately, we've got body cam footage of her like acting a fool in front of her son, right? When she got allegedly locked out of her apartment, and then the cops took her home. And then, first the cops came to Brian's house. Her son was there, witnessed it. They took her home. Then she said she forgot the key. So then Brian had to come. I think the son was like maybe 9 at that time. No, he would have been 8 because his birthday's October. So I'm assuming he brought him there. Anyway, she was not well behaved as a parent. So termination of alimony is what they're requesting. Paragraph 4 of the final judgment requires the former husband to pay durational alimony for a period of 84 months. So when we did the live, we calculated that out. Oh, so it was video 1, I think. Anyway, that is until April of this year, 2025, had she not murdered her boyfriend. The former wife does not have the financial need for alimony at this time and will not throughout the period of the durational alimony, meaning the alimony is due April 1, April Fool's Day. That's the last day. She's they're saying is going to be in jail or slash prison through that duration. Also, due to the former wife's admitted egregious behavior of locking her live-in boyfriend in a suitcase, which ultimately led to his death, she is not entitled to alimony. So he doesn't cite a case, the lawyer, about why she's not entitled, but I'm guessing if you commit felonies, you're not entitled, which is another reason, like, why didn't she take the manslaughter? Although I guess she still would have been incarcerated. I think she thought she was going to be exonerated. Sorry, Sarah. Not sorry. So they want the termination to be retroactive to February 25th. That's the day that she was arrested. And they want the child support terminated immediately. It was $100 a month. The former husband, has had the child since February 25th, 2020. Actually, that was that Monday, or I'm sorry, that was the Tuesday that she got arrested. Tuesday she was arrested. He hadn't been there since the week prior. So, I went to Petty University, so I would have given that date. But potentially she could have had him, I guess. Former wife does not incur any expenses for the minor child and as such is not entitled. So she doesn't need to pay the light bill. She doesn't need to keep the hot water on. None of that, because where she is, she gets 3 hots and a cot. They're also asking for attorney's fees, I think because she didn't want to agree to it. So he's asking for sole care and custody of the minor child, as well as 100% time sharing and decision making. That is the part that Sarah needs to redirect her energy on now. The alimony is gone. If you ever want to see your child again, get a lawyer and talk to them about some sort of agreement. I think it should be supervised, but I don't work for the courts. But we'll see. We'll see if her child is transactional or important to her by the way that she responds to that. If it's just transactional, i.e., run me my money because I was married to your dad and I popped you out. Or if she's sincere about wanting to love him and have some sort of, even if she can't direct him, as I know she wants to do. Why is my hair doing that? Sorry. I just feel like her priorities, like, now's the time to get your priorities together, man, because if they award Brian like sole physical and legal custody, I don't believe it's automatic that he has to let her see the son. I think there has to be like a court order for some sort of visitation agreement. I worked at the district attorney's office, family court division, when I lived in my hometown in Fresno a long time ago, like early 90s. And that is how it was then. The laws may have changed. That was in California. It's not in Florida, obviously. And so there may be different things, but I would get a lawyer and I would get my priorities together, or just resolve that he's better off without you and let him move on with his life. So when that was filed, just really quick, because Sarah was mad, she responded with a motion for contempt. So she filed it saying he needs to pay her. She is tattling on him. I don't know why, but maybe this new judge will be more sympathetic to that, given her own upbringing and not growing up with either parent. I'm not sure. Or maybe because she's a woman. But Sarah's got to rethink all this, because this is just entitled, stating she's not important, not a priority. And I think that is fair from a cost perspective. If Brian has to allocate his money when he was unemployed between his son and his former wife, who's incarcerated for murder, she isn't a priority, right? That's not offensive. If she don't want to hear it, stop calling that man. Also, petitioner agreed, signed, and made responsible for all said payments in the active. So she's saying it's still active. He's not playing by the rules. She wants to file for, she is filing for contempt of court. There was a letter attached to that. I'm not going to reread it. That was the 5th page of a 5-page letter, the motion for contempt. But yeah, so she's just creating drama and angst, and she knows like Brian's parents have money because she mentions like there are 4 houses that they own, but his parents don't owe her money. They didn't lay down with her. They didn't marry her. Lord knows. I hope no one ever thinks I'm responsible for funding all of my children, both of my children's life after they've gone off and married and had kids. Like, no, of course I'll always help them, but I'm not paying their ex alimony. Girl, if you don't sit down somewhere. Anyway, that's the update on Sarah's family court case. Let me know what you thought. What do you think of the judge? Do your own digging. It could go well for her because it is a woman and there she may be a little more sensitive if Sarah softens her tone and her approach and comes in sincere and is like, I really want to see my son. I've had a long time to think about this. I'm never going to be in the free world again. I would like to have some contact by court order with him until he's 18. I'm fine if it's supervised, just so she doesn't lose him. Do you know what I mean? But she's the type that will cut off her nose to spite her face, right? She turned down a manslaughter plea deal where she could be home, and you guys are saying 8 years. I haven't run the math. I'm not your math girl. And yet she said no because she needed to be vindicated. And then when she lost, she failed to get vindication. She doubles down with that damn letter and her forgiveness. So hopefully she can learn. Don't do that again, honey. Don't do that. Learn from this past lesson. Humble yourself or let your son go. What's best for him? Stop thinking about yourself. All right, let me know what you guys think. Am I being too harsh? Should she have unlimited rights to him? Should she still be getting alimony? Let me know down below. I want to hear it. I could be wrong. I'm okay with being wrong. Am I being too harsh? Tell me. It won't hurt my feelings. I promise. Toodles.